So, to continue on with this, behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him and touched the hem of his garment. And it doesn't mean touching this part right here at all, or even the bottom of your shirt, or the side of your shirt, or this side, or whatever. It doesn't mean that at all. It's a completely different kind of completely different kind of hem. And Yeshua turned him about, and when he saw her, he said, Daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith hath made thee whole. And the woman was made whole from that hour. And when Yeshua came into the ruler's house, and saw the minstrels and the people making noise, he said unto them, Give place, for the maid is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn. And when the people were put forth, he went in and took her by the hand, and the maiden arose. And the fame hereof went abroad into all the land. And when Yeshua departed thence, two blind men followed him, and crying, and saying, Thou son of David, have mercy on us. And when he come into the house, the blind men came to him, and Yeshua said unto them, Believe ye that I am able to do this? And they said unto him, Yea, Lord. Then touched he their eyes, saying, According to your faith, be it unto you. In other words, they had to have the faith to do so. And their eyes were opened, and Yeshua straightly charged them, saying, See that no man know it. But they, when they were departed, spread abroad his fame in all that country. And as they went out, behold, they brought him a dumb man possessed with the devil. In other words, he was not the brightest of the bunch, but he was also possessed with the devil. And when the devil was cast out, the dumb spake, and the multitude marveled, saying, It was never so seen. So in this particular part of saying the dumb man, usually it would mean someone who's actually not that smart. And here, he didn't speak. So in other words, in here, he wasn't exactly dumb. It's more like he was actually speechless, or as mute, as we call it today. So according to this, the devil was the reason why he was not able to speak. So he was mute because of demonic possession. And the multitudes marveled, saying, It was never so seen in Israel. But the Pharisees said, He casteth out devils through the prince of the devils. And when Yeshua went out to all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every sickness and every disease among the people, when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them, because they fainted and were scattered abroad, and the sheep as sheep having no shepherd. Then said he unto his disciples, The harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. Now to Acts chapter 9. Acts chapter 9. And Saul, yet breathing out threatenings and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went unto the high priest, and desired of him letters to Damascus, to the synagogues, that if he found any of this way, in other words, he called it a way, whether they were men or women, he might bring them bound unto Jerusalem. And as he journeyed, and he came near Damascus, suddenly there shined around about him a light from heaven. And he fell to the earth, and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And he said, Who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Yeshua, whom thou persecutest. Is it hard for thee to kick against the pricks? And he, trembling and astonished, said, Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go to the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do. And when the men which journeyed with him stood speechless, hearing a voice, but seeing no man. So in other words, Saul saw a man. And Saul arose from the earth, and when his eyes were opened, he saw no man. But they led him by the hand, and brought him unto Damascus. And he was there 3 days without sight, and neither did eat nor drink. And there was a certain scribe at Damascus named Ananias, and to him said the Lord in a vision, Ananias. And he said, Behold, I am here, Lord. And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go to the street which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas for one called Saul of Tarsus. For behold, he prayeth, and hath seen a vision of a man named Ananias coming in and putting his hand on him, that he might receive his sight. Then Ananias said, Lord, I have heard by many of this man, how much evil he hath done to thy saints at Jerusalem. And here he hath authority from the chief priest to bind all that call on thy name. But the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles, and kings, and the children of Israel. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake. And Ananias went his way and entered into the house, and putting his hands on him, Brother Saul, the Lord, even Yeshua, that appeared unto thee in the way as thou camest, hath sent me, that thou mightest receive thy sight and be filled with the Holy Ghost. And immediately there fell from his eyes as it were had been scales, and he received sight forthwith, and arose and was baptized. And when he had received meat, he was strengthened. Then was Saul certain days with the disciples which were at Damascus, and straightway he preached Christ in the synagogues, that he is the Son of God. But all that heard him were amazed, and said, Is this he that destroyed them which called on this name in Jerusalem, and came hither for that intent, for that he might bring them to bound unto the chief priest? But Saul increased them more in strength, and confounded the Jews which dwelt in Damascus, and proving that this is very Christ. And that many days hence were fulfilled, the Jews took counsel to kill him. But their laying wait was known of Saul, and they watched the gates day and night to kill him. Then the disciples took him by night, and led him down by the wall in a basket. And when Saul was come to Jerusalem, he essayed to join himself to the disciples, but they were all afraid of him, and believed not that he was a disciple. But Barnabas took him, and brought him to the apostles, and declared unto them how he had seen the Lord in the way, and how he had spoken to him, and how he had preached boldly at Damascus in the name of Yeshua. And he was with them, coming in and out, and going out of Jerusalem. And he spake boldly under the name of Lord Yeshua, and disputed against the Grecians, but they went about to slay him. Which when the brothers knew, they brought him down to Caesarea, and sent him to Tarsus. Then had the children of the church then had the churches rest throughout the Judea and Galilee and Samaria, and were edified, and walking in the fear of the Lord, and the comfort of the Holy Ghost were multiplied. And it came to pass, as Peter passed through all the quarters, which came down also unto the saints that dwelt in Lydia, and there he found a certain man named Annas, which he kept his bed 8 years, and was sick of palsy. And Peter said unto him, Annas, Yeshua Mashiach maketh thee whole. Arise, and make thy bed. And he arose immediately. And all that dwelt in Lydia and Saron saw him, and turned to the Lord. Now there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas. This woman was full of good works and alms deed which she did. And it came to pass in those days, when she was sick and died, whom when they had washed, they laid her in the upper chamber. For as much as Lydia was nigh unto Joppa, and the disciples had heard that Peter was there, they sent unto him 2 men, desiring him that he would not delay to come. Then Peter arose and went with them. When he was come, they brought him into the upper chamber, and with all the windows stood by him, weeping and showing the coats and garments which Dorcas made, while she was with them. But Peter put all them forth, and kneeled down and prayed, and turning to him to the body, said, Tabitha, arise. And she opened her eyes, and when she saw Peter, she sat up. And he gave her his hand, and lifted her up. When he called the saints and the widows, presented her alive. And it was known throughout all Joppa, and many believed in the Lord. And it came to pass that he tarried many days in Joppa with one Simon the tanner. Next, Romans 9.